okay, do people call you Mark? It feels weird to call you Count, even though you're like not a vampire. Although you are sitting there in the dark.
I know. It's the light in this room's too bright. If I have this on with my webcam, it looks like I'm God, essentially. So that's why I tend not to have it on. But yeah, people just call me Marcus or Dank.
Okay, Mark. When I found out this story about you, I almost fell out of my chair laughing, and like I just gained immense respect for you. So I don't know if you want to explain this story, but in 2016, you got in some trouble for this video that you did. Basically, like. Oh God, it's so funny. And I want to play part of it. I don't know if I'll get a copyright strike if I play a little bit of it.
Oh no, it's not on YouTube, but I would be very wary about playing it on YouTube because YouTube have been known to take it down. Yeah.
I did see. Okay. So, I mean, it is on YouTube. I watched it. Like it actually was played in 2018. There was a show at,
Comedy Unleashed.
Comedy Unleashed. And they played it. And the host was like, I think this is funny. And it's basically like you taught your girlfriend's pug dog to like, okay, I want you to explain it because it's so fucking funny.
It was a case of she just wouldn't shut the fuck up about how cute the dog was. She just loved this dog. Like, it's a case of see if the house was burning down, she would grab the dog and leave me to die. Right.
How long have you been dating at this point?
Been dating for probably about a year.
Mm-hmm.
I think about a year at this point, and she just wouldn't shut the fuck up about the dog, and so I ended up just like one day, like he used to give you a paw whenever he wanted a treat, and it was when I was about to give him a treat, he lifted his paw, and I says, that looks like a little salute, and I sort of had a bit of a light bulb moment. So I managed to train him to, instead of only putting his paw up when you held your hand out, I got him to just put up his paw anyway. And
it was like a little like.
Oh yeah, it's a full on salute. Like he actually stretches his arm right out. He tries his hardest, but it only took about 5 days to train him into it. And I got him to think that the phrase "gas the Jews" means treat. So whenever I say that phrase, he would get really, really excited. And whenever I say Zeke Heil, that's when he would lift his paw. And I decided to film it because the problem was, even with the training, he didn't do it every time. So I thought, I'm just going to make a compilation video of all the times that he does it and then show it to my girlfriend. And just sort of blindsided her one day, like, oh, look at this funny video. And then I would laugh at her reaction as she was throwing my stuff out the front of the house. Yeah, but before I uploaded it on YouTube, though, I was sort of like, I am worried that some random person is going to find this video without context of just me shouting "gas the Jews" at the dog, and they're going to have no idea what's going on. So I was like, just to be safe, I'll add a little bit of context at the beginning saying this is why I'm doing this for anyone that stumbled across the video. And I uploaded it on my YouTube channel, and the only people that were subscribed I had 8 subscribers who were all my friends that I knew in real life. And ended up, someone, I don't know how they found it or how they discovered it, but someone found the video, posted it to Reddit, and then it ended up on the front page of Reddit and it went viral. But at the time it was going viral, I was actually in Iceland at a video game convention and I had no idea what was happening back home.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's really funny. It's like, and you can probably still find it on YouTube. It's like, if you just Google like Count Dankula, like pug video, and you were just saying like, I was sick of my girlfriend being like so obsessed with this dog, so I saying that he's so cute, but I taught him to be one thing that's not cute and not see. And it's so cute all the time. You're like, "Gas the Juice." It's like, he's like, just like turning around. It's so precious. And so this ended up getting you in a bit of shit. Were you arrested? Like, how did things finally like hit the fan?
Oh, the cops, like, this was after, like, while I was in Iceland, all of my friends were making jokes going, like, they're probably going to be waiting for you at the airport when you get back. And I was sort of half laughing and half going, shit, will they? Like, but I came home, everything was fine. But then I think about 4 days after I got back, there was a knock at the door and it was the undercover cops. It was their special unit. And they basically
dogs with them.
No dogs or anything. They brought a lot of reporters with them because they illegally tipped off the press.
Whoa.
Yeah, so it was basically so that when I came out the house, they could photograph me and they could get the nice perp walk, like pictures for the newspapers. But yeah, they illegally tipped them off. They actually broke the law when they did that. And so I was led out of the house and I was arrested. And because the nature of my crime was a hate crime, I was held in jail for court. And it was hilarious, though, because when I was in the cells, one of the guys, someone got brought in next to me. This was a guy that they had about 8 cops trying to restrain him and threw him into the cell next to me. And he's going crazy next door, punching the walls, screaming. And I was just, I'm kicking the wall back, telling him to shut the fuck up because I'm trying to sleep and all that. And I was like, I'm going to fight this guy tomorrow. But ended up the next day, I get taken to court. And I said to the guards, what the hell was that all about, that maniac that you put in the next cell to me last night? And they went, oh, he just got arrested for murdering his friend.
For murdering? Oh, man. I'm here for a joke. I'm here literally for a joke. Yeah, it says here that like it was, I was looking at this article. It was Section 127 of the Communications Act 2002, which makes it an offense. Grossly offensive message on a social media platform. And basically what is grossly offensive? It depends who you ask. It literally does depend who you ask, but that's a law. That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable because like you watch this video, it's hilarious. Like if you don't laugh, you'll be like, all right, it's not my cup. By no stretch was it grossly offensive. It's like, and this dog, you know what I mean? Like the dog kept turning around. You know what I mean? Like maybe someone should question Buddha there, you know?
Honestly, he still does it. He still does it. You can train a dog. You can't untrain a dog. And I've had it where like people in the street meet him, and if they're eating something, they're like, "Oh, can I pet the dog?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they'll want to like give the dog a chip or something, and then he just lifts his paw, and people go, "Oh, are you giving me a paw?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's what he's doing." Yeah,
it's a paw. It's a paw. He's not trying to organize anybody.
Don't think about it too much.
So like it's just so wild to me that you were actually reprimanded for this, but it ended up kind of blowing up. A lot of people kind of came to your defense. I read that like Ricky Gervais kind of like had your back, a few other people.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it ultimately was a good thing? I mean, like, I think you were fined for what, like $1,000 or something, or like
£800, which is about $1,000. But like, I refused to pay it. I even said, like, right before the judge handed down the sentence, I got my lawyer to read out a statement that basically said, if I was given a fine, I wouldn't pay it. If I was given community service, I'm not going to do it. I mean, I couldn't say if I'm given jail time, I will refuse. You can't exactly refuse that. Well, depends how strong you are. Depends how many officers are there to take you away. But basically, I says, whatever you give me, I'm not doing it. The judge sort of like thought to himself for a few seconds and went, "Oh, I'm just going to give him a fine." And I was like, "Well, I'm not paying it." I was getting letters in saying, "Pay the fine or we're going to arrest you. Pay the fine or we're going to arrest you." I was just putting the letters straight in the trash. And then, I didn't care. At that point, I was just mad. I was like, "You're not getting my money. Fuck you. Like you're not getting it." And it ended up, it passed the deadline date, and it's a case of, right, this is where I get arrested now. And I was like, it's going to be any day now. But then like 3 weeks passed of like absolutely nothing. So I ended up going, I don't want to get arrested at like a really inconvenient time. So I actually called the cops on myself and basically went, "Yeah, I'm at home. Come and get me." And they were like, "Well, no, we're not coming to get you." And I'm like, "But I've broken the law. I'm telling you where I am. Come and arrest me." And then they says, "We're not going to come and get you until your name comes up in the computer." And I was like, I can't even.
Wow.
So I get arrested over a joke. But when I'm literally calling the cops on myself, I couldn't get arrested.
It's almost like it's like, oh, is this a trap? Like, should we not go? But man, I guess it's not that important that they're not going to rush over there when you tell them where you are.
I know. But it ended up they just seized the money out of my bank account without telling me. Yeah, which was, they're supposed to notify you first. If they don't, it's illegal. But they knew that if I knew, I would just empty the bank account. So instead, they just took the money without telling me.
Which really sucks, because like that's enough money that makes a difference between like you being able to pay your rent or not, or like a mortgage. I mean, like that's like significant.
Oh yeah, that was a fair whack of money. None of my bills got paid. They took it the day before my bills all came out in the account. So I had like 6 companies chasing me up, going like that. Where's our money? And that's actually how we found out they seized the money, because none of the bills came out the account. I was furious.
How many years were you into comedy when this all happened?
Well, that was the thing, is it was just, I'd never done live comedy. All of my stuff was just YouTube, is shit posts. It was basically, I wasn't treating it as anything serious. I wasn't like making a serious go of YouTube or anything like that. It was just something I did for fun with me and my friends. Like, we just made stupid, silly videos and uploaded them. So basically, it was, as far as like the comedy, like comedian side of it went, it was extremely amateur. It was extremely amateur, where I was just dicking around. It wasn't until after the Nazi Pug thing that I actually started doing live comedy. Everything else before that was on the internet. But even though other videos were presented at the trial showing that I was just making stupid, silly, funny videos, the judge just didn't care. He was like, no, it doesn't matter. None of that's relevant. And then, well, one of the key things about it as well in the trial was the prosecutor argued that context could be ignored. We can disregard context. And that was, yeah. And see, when he said that, so you see how when you hear like the murmuring of everyone talking under their breath in the back, when he said that, I could hear, I even seen some journalists sort of like, what the fuck? What do you mean context doesn't matter? I mean, see if context doesn't matter in a criminal trial, that's Stalinist. Literally Stalinist. That's what he used to do.
Jesus. Yeah. And it's good that you kind of like, I mean, yeah, they eventually took the money from you, but you never apologized for it. You never, because it's free speech, and I don't know how it got decided that free speech that someone doesn't like is hate speech, but there's no, it's not like you were, I mean, it's not like you had tied somebody down and were, having the dog pee on somebody. It's not like you gave the dog, you know what I mean? Like, you're not training the dog to go murder somebody. They're literally just words. It's free speech. It's just pretty scary that happened to you, but it's good that you didn't.
It's got even worse here. Like, we've just recently had a law called the hate crime bill, where if you even possess, for example, a meme, just a meme or a funny picture, just possessing that picture, which, if shared, could stir up hatred against a protected group of people, you can be sent to jail for up to 7 years.
What? Just if you have a meme like in your phone, who would check that? How would that?
This is the thing that's funny, right? So, see, for example, one of the things that happens as far as like child porn laws go, see if you visit a website that's known for hosting child porn, that's enough for a warrant. If you visit a website that contains this illegal material, the police can get a warrant for you like that.
Oh, like Twitter? Because that's one of those websites.
Oh yeah. See the amount of people that tag me in that. See, because I've done the anti-pedophilia stuff in the past. Yeah, people tag me in that stuff, going, "Oh, can you report this?" And I'm like, "Please stop tagging me in this stuff," because I open it, I look at it, and I'm like, "Jesus fucking Christ, stop tagging me in this. I hate it. Just report it to Twitter, report it to the cops."
It's really horrible. Yeah, like I got banned for reporting an account like months back, like suspended for reporting an account on Twitter, because it's just like, it was so vile. I had like never seen. Obviously, we're not like, neither you or I are like looking for this stuff, but people like, same thing. They were tagging me in it, like, "Hey, you're somebody who's like outspoken about this stuff," and it's just like, it's so horrible to see. But at the same time, I was like, I spent all this time trying to get it taken down, but in the meantime, Twitter is so dumb. They can't tell a difference from somebody trying to take a thing down versus somebody who's like creating and spreading this filth. So
yeah,
it's horrible.
Yeah.
it just reminds me of, I spoke to this comedian, Mike Ward, and he's out in Canada.
Oh, Mike.
And
Yeah, I know about his case. Like, geez, what is it they're trying to get from him? Is it
making fun of
$30,000?
This singer, Jeremy Gabriel, who was a singer, and he called him like a Make-A-Wish because he had some kind of like, I don't know, some kind of whatever disease or like syndrome or something, and he was ordered to pay him like $35,000.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that was absolutely. And Mike, I've seen him talking about it, but he's like, "Fuck you, I'm not paying it. I would rather go to jail than pay the fine." And hats off to him, honestly. Like, I've nothing but respect for that, because him getting forced to pay that amount of money for a joke, like, that's imagine being that weak that a joke damages you enough that you feel you deserve $35,000. Like, that's ridiculous.
Well, that's probably like the lawyers being like, well, they want to make money, so how much can we possibly charge here?
Yeah, the lawyers want to make their money.
The Human Rights Tribunal, human rights, ordered the stand-up comic pay $25,000 for moral damages and $10,000 for punitive damages. And this was, this was like 2016 as well. And I think your video came out in 2016 as well.
Yeah. That's the thing that's hilarious is an alleged human rights tribunal apparently passed that decision down. A human rights tribunal literally violated Mike Ward's human rights. Like, that's what makes it. I mean, it's absolutely tragic, but oh god, it's hilarious anyway. But if anything, they've handed him golden material. He's gotten so much material out of that, and he's riding it as long as he can, and he should because it's funny. I mean, it's tragic, but it's funny.
It's really it's dangerous, because it's like they're actually saying, that there's a correlation between words or jokes or satire and actual violence, which there's not. Like, my dad would hit me all the time and sometimes say nothing, like just in silence. So.
Well, to see the people that make those arguments like that, where memes and comedy, like, I listen to a lot of like really offensive comics, right? Lots of like old school ones as well. We've got a guy over here called Jerry Sadowitz, and some of this, there's a reason he never allows anyone to record his shows, and he doesn't see how everyone likes to upload a special and all that stuff, like get on Netflix and all that. He doesn't want to do any of that, because he doesn't want any type of record existing of his shows, because it's just his entire show is just one big hate crime, right? He's phenomenal. He's brilliant, right? So I watch a lot of people like that, and never once have I watched an offensive comedy, like offensive comedian, an offensive show, and at the end of it, I'm thinking to myself, should minorities really be alive? Like, nobody walks away with that takeaway. But see the people that are making that argument of, jokes and satire, etc., can lead down the path of violence. They are using the exact same line of reasoning that the boomers from the 90s used when it came to Marilyn Manson, rap music, video games. Mm-hmm. It's the exact same line of reasoning, but applied to something else. So that's why whenever they say, your jokes do this, your jokes do that, I make the exact same arguments about rap music or violent movies and all that. And that's when they go, no, that's different because, and then that's where they stop, because they realize what a fucking idiot they're being.